Hey everyone, this is Rick. I wanted to show you something I've been working on. I wanted to get your opinion on it. Is it needed, not needed, smart, stupid, whatever, you know. It's just a different type of chamfer board that has relief cut in it for staples that are in weird positions on comic books. Staples on the top, you know, things that are hard to get to because you can't quite get the chamfer all the way up to the edge of the spine because of some weird placement. And I'll show you some examples. Here, I'm going to give you a little bit of time to look at 3 examples in this Amazing Spider-Man 238 where I got to some staples that would have been hard to reach, or some spine ticks that would have been hard to reach before. I'm thinking of the name tictac, you know, so you guys think of, I'm looking for ideas for names, ideas for telling me to buzz off, this is a stupid idea, that's why I stopped putting time into it. Whatever you think, let me know, but I'm going to finish showing you these before and afters of these spine ticks that were harder to get to, and I hope you enjoy the video. All right, take care, bye-bye. So if you ever got a book that has staples in a weird place, you know exactly what I'm trying to address here today. So if we look at, like, this is a copy of X-Men 186. It's a ragged book. Ragged books I love very much, but the staples are misaligned. So if you look, it's most obvious if you look here, you got one on the back and one straight on the spine. And let's say, for example, you had a spine tick here and here. How would you get to it? Well, this is what I'm trying to make. I'm making these little tiny pieces of chamfer boards. I'm calling them tictac. And there's one side that's chamfered and the other side is not chamfered. And what I'm trying to do is give you small tools, supply with small tools so we can get around that. So these are just prototypes, and I can start selling some soon at a discounted price if you like. I should stop and mention that the reason the regular chamfered boards aren't chamfered on both sides is that only 25% or so survive the process. So if I do both sides, that goes down to like 6% chance of both sides getting, so that's why. But like, for example, here, if you wanted to get that spine tick out, you'd have this staple in the way. You couldn't get to it. So if you put this little guy right here, you can now get your tacking iron and you can now get both sides of it where you most often see staples, right? You see them right there. And additionally, if you have some staples in a weird placement, I've made some larger boards here I'm going to start using, which have 2 of these little divots, and they're meant for the center of the book instead because they're chamfered on the bottom and the top here. Normally I don't do that because I want the up pressure on there. So let's see, this Spidey, for example, is going to have staples in a weird spot. And I should probably just press this book anyway, but so if we have this is the first appearance of Harry Osborn and Gwen Stacy, incidentally. So in this book, we can put the book in the center and line this up on the staples. And they don't quite align on this book, so I'll have to make some adjustments for that. But and then you press the whole book like this, and you can get in here tighter. Now we could, of course, fix this spine roll in most cases, but it just allows us to get in there tighter and lift up when the staples are on the top, which can be annoying. So I'm going to try that out, and I'm going to try the tic-tac on a couple books here today. I don't know if I'll do this one or not. I'll do the Spidey, but then I've got, this is my reader copy of ASM 238 that I've had for, well, since I was like, what, 13, 11? No, I was like 11 when I got this book. So I had this book forever, and it could use a little love, but I will cut the tattoos, of course, and I will, I'll do it. I'll check it out. Steam this book, and because this one has the tattoos on the inside, I'm going to protect them from steam with my silicone sheet here, and I'm going to get the inside of that spine just until the paper starts to curl, and I'm going to get the outside of this book here. And I'll get the back as well. And there are tattoos in the back. I'll get that later. I just don't want the book curling up on me. So I'm going to go over and then we'll start. So what we're going to do is, hold on 1 second here, take a piece of this paper. And by the way, someone asked me, like, this stuff wrinkles up. The thin silicone sheet didn't wrinkle, it does. The craft paper doesn't, which is the stuff that I sell, and that's why I sell it. So we're going to take, I have 2 different of these, what I call tic-tac boards here. I'm going to slide one of them underneath here along the staple. So I'm going to peek in there and find the staple, and I'm going to tuck this in. And what's important here is to keep good pressure on it. So I'm going to put my thumb on the cover and make it tight here. I'm going to find where those guys are, and I'm going to, I've set this to about 135. I have a potentiostat in it. And I'm going to just, I do this kind of straight on a line here, and then I often do a figure 8 on here, so I'm not in one place for too long, and I get it from different angles. And then I'll just do this a little bit, see how that looks coming up. Oh geez, it's already gone. Okay, well that was quick. And then if there isn't, I mean I can still use this if there isn't a staple. I just turn it around, come down a little further, I find a few spots here in the book. And you may not be able to see these from your angle on the camera, so that's why I'm getting, there's one right down here. It actually is by a staple, so I'm going to flip it back around here. And I'm going to find that spot. Remember, my thumb and finger, I'm keeping tension to keep the chamfer in there, and then I'm just going to, I give it like between 6 and 8 little passes and like a long figure 8. And then we see, and let's see here. Oh geez, that was easier than I thought too. Okay. Yeah, okay, well those are looking good. Well, alright. Well, I think the top ones, sometimes they come back a little. I'm going to get them again. But that's it. We'll just go to the back of the book and try the same thing. Oops. We're going to protect the interior of the book because of these tattoos. But we're going to put some more steam on it here on the inside. The spots, and then we're going to do the outside. Just there it goes. The paper relaxes pretty quick sometimes. And then we are going to take our tic-tac board, and most of these are not near a staple, so I'm just going to use the non-staple dented part of it, and I'm going to, my paper here. Again, I'm just going to do this in long figure 8s to get all the different angles that they might come in, because they're not all perfectly perpendicular right to the spine, and I'm keeping some tension on it with my thumb and my finger so that the, see how my hand is set up here? I'm squeezing these together, and then I'm just going to go long just to make sure I polish those bumps off, and then let's see. Oh geez, yeah, it works faster than I had hoped. But sometimes they come back, so you got to be a little bit careful. And I'm just going to do this again, a little tension. I'm going to use my pinky to hide this, to align this. See, I'm using my pinky to do this top sheet. And I'm pinching with my thumb and my finger. And you can kind of drive it. You can kind of drive that up and down while you're doing this other part. And then there's a long figure 8s again. Get all the different angles, and oh, there's one up. I didn't quite get one up here. Oh, that's because this paper's in the way. There we go. All right, little stinker. Okay. Well, there's still some in here, this one, but I'm going to get them here in a minute. Just going to get this little fella, and then may have to actually steam this guy again. Oh no, I got him. And then we just kind of look down the book here a little at a time. There's just some little fellas, you know, they're not big stinkers. Just going to grab those and pinch, pinky, and then we'll just sort of get those off of there like this. And they'll be out. They're just, you know, once you do it a few times, you get the hang of it. A lot of them give up the ghost pretty quickly if they're not color breaking. A little more in the middle, I think, here. A little more love. But otherwise, that's it. Alright, I'll take some before and after pictures now for you guys. Looks like I gotta get that stain off of there too, which I'll do, and then we'll continue. And for the other one, let's take this old Spider-Man book, you know, with the staples sort of misplaced on the top. And it's got, you know, it's pretty wrinkly throughout the whole thing. I've had this forever too, so I'm gonna, of course, steam this. And here we go. I'm not going to steam the whole book in this case, just the cover. I'm just doing an experiment. Nice and wrinkly. Oh, I'll do the back a little bit. This book needs a little love. It's low grade, but fun book. And again, you know, so what we did was we stuck this kind of double staple reliefed board in the middle. It allows us to tuck it in there nice and far where these staples would prohibit us, right? So, you know, I'm going to give a little shot of Clean while we're here. This red is spooky. You really don't want to do a lot with that red, but let's just try. All right, get this guy cleaned off this white part here. We're going to kind of there we go. There's dirt coming off of that. Kind of lightly go over the rest of it because some of this red's going to come up, so don't flip out. Actually, it's not. That's a surprise. A few more seconds, and it probably will. You know, I'm starting to remember, starting to think I didn't take a photo of this before. Let's do the back too. While we're at it, there's a big chunk of this back one missing here, but this is a very common Silver Age marble back. They look like this, and they're almost always really dirty. It's not that dirty, actually. There's some dirt, of course, but not that bad. I wonder if I should take this cover off and give it a bath. Oh, there's a little dirt. It's looking a little cleaner, but it's not terrible. Alright, we'll turn this around. And then we'll press this. I'm going to stick a silicone sheet here so that if there's any moisture, I don't want it to stick to this front page. And then we'll just press it up here and we'll give it a shot, see what it looks like. Preheated this bottom board to 160, and there's a little Teflon sheet on there, but that's mostly just to keep it from getting dirty over time. And then I'm going to put this on top of that board here just to keep a little pattern in the Teflon from showing up in my book. And the top got wetter than the bottom, so I'm going to put a silicone sheet on it. And remember, there's just that one new type of chamfer board in the middle. And then we're going to put this guy. So you know it's damp still, and normally like, oh, I don't want to do this if it's damp. I'm just going to like give it a few seconds of just very, very light pressure here. This will just sort of encourage that moisture to leave a little quicker. And then make sure that the page isn't sticking to that thing. Put my finger, okay. It's not quite dry. I'll do this a couple times until that's dry to the touch, and then then we can do it. You know, as wrinkled as it is, that's dry to the touch. Got my newly chamfer board in the middle. Silicone sheet here just to keep this from sticking to the first page. I'll put another sheet on top, and then I'm going to put one of my aluminum boards on the very, very top up here. like that. And then these ones I like, so the pressure you can tell by the angle when it first makes contact where this is. That's a medium, sort of a medium light pressure. I want this to be up around there. See the angle, how it's going up like this? That's going to be around 60 pounds of pressure, right? All right, and you can look, it's that angle there. Well, a little more, actually, that was only like 50. There we go. Let this temperature come up. Maybe it's going to drop in a second. You'll see here. And make sure it stays at 160, and then we'll start our 600-second timer. Well, it's pretty well, I guess it's pretty well preheated then. Well, we start our timer, and then we come back and see what it looks like. Well, let's see what happened here. I'm gonna lift this up, wait for the book to drop. This here. All right, let's take a look at our book. Does it look any better than it did before? Well, there's still some micro stuff. I probably could do this again. It could profit from another pressing, but I mean, it looks okay, right? Not super great. Black looks a little better. I mean, there's some, we have to do like a wipe again, get some of this Mackie clean off of here. Just a second time, but overall, we can, yeah, it's not terrible. I mean, this book was never going to be great, but that's how it looks now. It's okay. It's halfway decent, right? All right.